Hey guys, it's Francina Simone, and I am here today with a book discussion. And as the title suggests, it's about diversity on Booktube. I know this is starting to get kind of played out, but I honestly don't think Booktube wants and or needs diversity as much as, wait for it because I know what you're thinking. Bitch, don't tell me what I want, because I know what I want, and it's diversity. But what I'm going to say to you is I don't think that we want diversity as much as we are screaming for quality. And follow me here on this journey because I'm going to explain why before you get all angry and ratchet up in here. Be talking about this chick, she don't want no diversity. She talking about this, that, and the other. That is not what I am saying, okay? So one, in Booktube, let's talk about what we do have so we can understand what it is that we are lacking. We have a lot of white characters, we got a lot of girl characters, and for once, let me insert here, the woman is the majority. Actually, the women are already the majority as far as population goes, but we are usually represented as a minority. But here on Booktube and here in the YA genre specifically, we are represented as the majority as well. So, one for women, right? And also heterosexuals. I don't know why there was a big pause after that. Like one is gonna pop up. Poof, heterosexual. How would we know? Unless we saw them doing it. I'm so fucking weird. So that's what we have here on Booktube. And then, of course, the biggest population of it is YA. We don't have a lot of adult, we don't have a lot of children's literature, or middle grade, I should say, but we do have a lot of people out there reading it, but just it's not as big and as prominent as, you know, it's not the first thing people think when they think Booktube. They think Booktube and they think the newest YA hit, and it's usually something to do with romance. Oh, Jesus, don't get me started. I love me a good romance, but y'all are killing me with it. So the reason why I say I don't think we're screaming for diversity as much as we're screaming for quality is because of this. Think about it. When you read a great book, do you complain about what it lacks? If it's great, you're probably not complaining about something it lacks because it doesn't lack anything. That's what made it great, right? But when you read a shitty ass fucking book, you're over there in the corner saying, let me count the ways in which this book was not doing what it needed to do. First of all, there was no one black in the book, and that is fucked up in itself. There were no queers in the book, and that is so annoying. There are no transgenders in the book, and you know what? Population-wise, considering this book had about 100 fucking characters for me to follow, the writer, she really need to cut down that list. There should have been at least a few queers and transgenders and blacks and Hispanics and some Asians up in that mix, because you can't tell me everybody in this world was white and heterosexual. And I completely understand that because, again, bad books are bad. You will always find something to complain about with a bad book because it's bad. There is nothing believable about it. So you start disbelieving everything in the book that the book tries to get you to believe. However, with a quality book, you don't have time to do that because it's a great story. You're not complaining that the story someone decided to tell was a specific way because that's their story. You wouldn't go up to someone and be like, bitch, I'm gonna need you to take off that white skin and put on some black skin because you're killing me with your non-diversity here. Or at least go get yourself a woman. No, you wouldn't say that because you appreciate the person for who they are, their own experience. Just like you wouldn't go up to somebody and be like, look, you're being a little too gay for me right now. You need to straighten it up. No, you would never say something like that because you can appreciate someone for the full package that they are because each and every person is a great individual. Some people need a little bit of help getting there, sure. Some people need a little bit of help getting there even though they're 6 feet under, for sure. Some people are great. They stay in their lane, they do them, and some people don't. And we always find the people who don't a bit lacking, don't we? See, there's a pattern here, isn't there? People we like, we don't find faults in them that we nitpick and try to change about them unless we're a terrible fucking person ourselves. But the people we don't like, we find faults in every fucking thing they do, don't we? Vanessa, you talk too loud. Timmy, you don't talk loud enough. And your hair, why is it so fucking dry, Timmy? Do you need some mane and tail? Like, you get what I mean? You don't do that to people you like. And you don't do that to books you like. Because those books are great. Now, if you're stopping here and you're saying, well, Francina, I read this book and I really did enjoy. And I can still say that it lacked and needed some diversity. I'm going to counter with it probably wasn't a quality book. And if it's a book that was recently hyped that you decided you like, it probably wasn't quality and you probably like it for superficial reasons. And you're probably wrapped up in this bubble of people who like these superficial books that you haven't stopped to realize that you've been reading something on such a surface level that you're starting to confuse greatness with popularity. Ooh, another key there. I am hitting it today, aren't I? Confusing greatness with popularity. Follow me, people. How many times have we, as a people, as individuals, have confused greatness with popularity? I honestly feel like that is the problem with Booktube today, confusing greatness with popularity. And because that's happening so often and so much, all the rest of us who actually like reading great books, despite the genre, despite the content, we just like a great story. We're starting to nitpick to the point where we're asking for things that we don't necessarily need. I mean, be honest, do you need to read a story about someone in your exact situation to enjoy the story? Can someone ever represent you? No, the answer is no. No one can ever represent you. You are the only you that can represent you. Sure, you can see people like you. And sure, we need to find likeness all the time. That's why we have communities, to be around people of like mind. But let's not confuse community with representation. Because only you can represent who you are. You shouldn't have to see you and other people to be happy with them. Do you get what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to see ourselves in a book to be happy with the book. That book isn't about your story. Sure, it can have similarities, but only you can tell your story, and only that author who wrote that book can tell that story because it's theirs. It's not yours. It's not yours to feel represented by. Sure, we can build it in our community of books that make us feel like we have become a great person. It can mean something profound to us, something that changed the way we view the world, the way we feel about the world. But the only stories that can represent you are the ones that you write, including the story of your life. If you write your story in pictures, words, in the sound of your voice, in music, in whatever it is that you do, in what you carve, in whatever work that you do, that's what represents you, not someone else's story. So sure, although it's great to see like things, let's not confuse that with representation. So moving off to that and talking more about quality. When you surround yourself by quality people, they're usually eclectic because quality people are okay with themselves. They're whole in themselves. When you surround yourself by people who need to follow other people to figure out who they are and need other people to tell them who they are, they generally all start to look the same. They walk around the same. They talk the same. They think the same. Whether or not it is what they're thinking makes sense or is intellectual or stupid, they all think, look, and act the same. So now let's talk about this in books. When you're surrounded by quality books, they stand out as individuals. You don't scream for diversity because in themselves, they are diverse because they are whole. They are themselves. You can't scream for someone to be diverse when they represent themselves and no one else. But when you are around books that are mediocre, they look, they think, and they act like other books. All of the heroines, you get confused. Was that bitch in this book or the other one? I can't remember because she was just like the other character. I think them books is exactly the same. My point is here is that when a book isn't quality, it's not diverse because it looks and acts and thinks like all of the other shit books it's next to. So on Booktube, for some reason, the only books that you see on Booktube are those mediocre shit books. And I know a lot of people might be offended by that, and that's okay to be offended. It's okay to like something that is somewhat mediocre. It's okay. I understand that you're kind of in that bubble where popularity equals greatness, and there's something that you like about it. But I guarantee you, let one great book plop down in the middle of those, and that bubble will be burst. Okay, and I want to take a moment to just pause and talk about what I mean about a great book, because I don't want anyone to get confused here, thinking that I'm some type of literary snob. I'm not talking about adult contemporary lit. That's not greatness. Greatness is a story that is 100% authentic, and that's it. Doesn't matter what the story is about, doesn't matter who the story is about, doesn't matter what voice the story is in, it doesn't matter how the story is written. It just means that it is 100% authentic to itself. Now notice I didn't mention any genres, any types of stories, any types of writing. There are a billion different ways to tell a story because there are a billion different people. And we all see the world differently. We're all unique and diverse. No matter the color of our skin, our sexuality, or what parts we were born with, what parts we are inside, none of that matters. All that matters is the soul and the way that we see the world and how we talk about it. So, Booktube isn't screaming for diversity. They're screaming to hear those unique and quality stories that come from in here, not that shit pile of mediocre that just comes from being like everybody else. I know I talk about authenticity a lot, and that's because always life boils down to that. It's a fundamental truth. We are drawn to authentic things. If you make something authentic with your words, with your music, with wood carvings, whatever the fuck you do, as long as you do it with 100% authenticity and you are true to it, it will always be diverse because it is the one single thing in existence that is like itself. And that's not to say that we don't need stories that have other people in it of different colors, of different backgrounds, and this and that. But at the end of the day, does that matter about the person more than their experience and the story that they have to tell? Do you look at your group of friends and think, I'm going to kick Tim out because he's white and I need me a Deshaun? He's black and he's going to add some diversity to this group. And you're not thinking, I'm going to kick out Ashley and Melissa there because I need me some white girls up in here, and I also need 2 Asians and 3 Mexicans, 1 Puerto Rican. Oh, I need a Korean. Oh, look at that Korean girl right there. I need some diversity. No, you don't. You look at people for who they are and what they bring to the table as individuals, what they do, what they make, how they change your life. I mean, you could be surrounded by a whole bunch of imitators. I don't know. Then that means you'd have to look at yourself and wonder, are you an individual? Do you represent yourself the way that you're meant to be represented? The next time you review a book, do a book haul, a wrap up, or you're sponsored by somebody, think about it. Are you promoting quality books? Are you promoting books that are diverse in themselves, not in that superficial way, but are you promoting a book that is profound in itself, that the diversity is itself? It is diverse by existing because it is simply the single only one that is possible. Or are you promoting a book that's just like the rest? If you disagree with me completely, just let me down below or tweet me at Francine Simone. I mean, I'm honest. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I know who I am and what I want in life. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a discussion about it. So as always, be better than you were yesterday, keep positive, and do you. TTYL, it's off for now. I mean, like, seriously, you want to talk about a profound book? Children's Lit, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. This book made me cry, and it's about a stuffed rabbit. I mean, look at that. Look at that. How did that stuffed rabbit make me cry?